Oh, yeah! It's Wednesday, my dudes! Welcome back, everybody, to the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. I am your host, Crypto Bro, also known formerly as Brian. How the hell is everybody tonight? Beautiful, little rainy Wednesday evening / early Thursday morning. Boy, oh boy, do we have plenty of topics to cover in the market today. A couple of markets closing on new highs, confirming uptrend formations. Very exciting stuff. We definitely have plenty to dive deep into here today, but to kind of clarify on everything that was discussed yesterday, first things first, the announcement was made yesterday. Mic is on, you can hear me. Announcement was made yesterday. It's a pretty big deal to me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead and change the vibe a little bit. Pretty big announcement. I am going semi-pro. What I classify as semi-pro in March. I'm gonna be throwing 5 figures into the market, and I'm gonna start playing with bigger numbers. I've been trading very, very, very profitably, percentage-wise, for the last 9 months, trading the 21 exponential moving average strategy. Very simple, in my opinion, strategy, but there are so many nuanced implications that make it so much stronger. And the more I use it, the more confident I become with it over time. And I do believe I am confident enough to start making some real profits to pay the fucking bills, right? So that's... damn it. That's one of the big announcements. I'm going semi-pro next month. I'm gonna take a big chunk of change of what I've saved up over the last few years, and take a huge fraction of that and throw it right into a stock market trading platform, and start trading with big numbers. Start trying to make some really big gains. Again, this is my overall dream. I want to get on here. And I want to stream for you guys. I want to consistently profit over time, for me and my family, and for my future with my wife. We're trying to have a kid, the whole 9 yards. So I want to make this a full-time job, and I do believe March is going to be that next step into making that dream come to fruition. Secondly, I think I've been so wrapped around how I can do better with social media that I have not been kind of using it to the fullest potential. So I think I'm going to stop hunting for new subscribers. Obviously, I'll do some word of mouth. If I meet a trader, somebody that trades the stock market, forex markets, cryptocurrency markets, anything like that, of course I'm going to mention my YouTube channel, but I don't think I'm going to fish for that stuff anymore, because at the end of the day, it's really about utilizing the platform to spread the education, spread the knowledge, and share how I profit for you guys to see. I want to spark excitement in the community. I want to spark, initiative. What's another word? Inspiration, I guess you could say, because at the end of the day, when I become successful, and again, it's not if, it's when I become successful over time, big time, my overall goal, my overall dream is to spread this knowledge to as many people as feasibly possible. So while the community is small, I think we're up to 354 followers, community followers on Facebook, and some like 120 on YouTube. I don't think the numbers of followers is really my true passion right now. I think I'm going to focus on educating who I have and securing that bag in the stock market. So that's kind of the overview of kind of what the plan's going to be. So I'm going to be focusing more on instructional videos for you guys, laying out different strategies, different time frames, yada yada. Got a lot of things I want to work on, but there is a huge chunk of things that I thought I wanted to work on that I'm cutting out of the game plan. I want to keep things simple. Remember, guys, when we come to this channel, it's about trying to keep it as simple as possible, although a lot of times people tell me it's not so simple. I understand. I'm trying to do my best to simplify this process. Again, I am using only one moving average and the structure to basically profit from the stock market, cryptocurrency market as well, while utilizing RSI and stochastic. So that's kind of it. That's kind of the announcements for right now. For now, we have plenty to talk about. We're going to take a look at NASDAQ first. Oh shit, what did I do? I want to get rid of this. NASDAQ, boom, confirming that low, breaking above the 21 exponential. Target has been met, target has been met, target has been met. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a confirmed change of behavior and a fully confirmed, again, from a conservative standpoint, a fully confirmed uptrend in formation here. I am going to be looking for a soft pullback. Obviously, we're coming on new highs and a breach of tentative resistance right here at the 40. Oh, I'm not even on NASDAQ. Fuck! I'm all sorts of fucked up. NASDAQ didn't confirm highs. I do apologize. SPY futures is a different story, but NASDAQ not so much. NASDAQ breaking through the 21 exponential, not confirming new highs yet, but it is interesting to see price action back above this 21 exponential right here. Again, this is my main source of edge for any trade, for any trades that I'm going to take above or below the 21. Very, very, very important break above the 21 right now. And along with that, we do have a couple of conflicting indications here. We do look at RSI right now, still below that diagonal trend line. I think that was applied to the weekly. Was that applied to the weekly? It was applied to the weekly. What's more important to focus on is still below the 50 read right here, albeit we do have potential bullish divergence in formation here. RSI is looking like it wants to see continuation to the upside, but the simple fact remains we have not reclaimed new highs. So from a conservative standpoint, we do not have a confirmed uptrend on NASDAQ just yet. Now, again, my bias is pointed a little bit more towards, yes, we do see new highs formulate over the next couple of days above the current lower high at 15,130. But until that condition is met, we technically still don't have that final piece from a conservative perspective to confirm an uptrend here. Again, we do have our macro lower low structure here, boom, bouncing up above the 21, getting met with tentative resistance, rejection, boom, higher low in confluence with the previous low here, right? So we do have the beginning etchings of an uptrend. What we don't have is that higher high just yet. We have that on SPY futures. Obviously, I spoiled that for everybody already, but right now for NASDAQ, we don't have that higher high. So what am I looking for? Well, first and foremost, obviously, when it comes to the 21 exponential moving average strategy here, we have the first warning shot fired. Warning shot fired, warning shot fired. We see price action has breached above the 21 exponential, and now I'm waiting for confirmation today and only today, above the 21 exponential here. Any candle closure above the 21 exponential, I'm going to be looking for price action to move and test the next resistance level right around 15,500 even, which I think is the next valid one. Yeah, that's the next. I mean, you have a couple of one-offs, right? You have one right here that you could argue is a possible test, but a secondary candle closure above the 21 here off of a higher low, I'm going to be looking for this to formulate into an uptrend inevitably at the end of the day. Again, I will be looking for price action to reclaim new highs. We could argue that this could be the first target being met. 15,330 would be the first tentative target that I'd be looking for here. And again, when we come back and look at momentum oscillators here, RSI structure does look decent. It doesn't look like a breakdown structure or anything like that. It does look like a reversal style formation here starting to formulate. Same thing with stochastics. It is gaining more momentum to the upside. I'm going to mark off the bullish control zone here. I think we've entered the bullish control zone. Yes, we have. From a stochastics perspective, we do see momentum carrying into the bullish control zone here. Very good stuff right now. The most important thing to think about for continuation to the upside is whether or not we see a confirmed candle closure, a secondary candle closure above that 21. Now, what if that condition isn't met? I'm going to be looking for, that condition not being met, obviously with a breach of the 21 to the downside. But if we get a top call with any candle closure below 14,740 here, that's when this little micro uptrend here becomes threatened, in my opinion. If we see any candle closures below the current low, which I'm going to mark off with this horizontal at 14,590, I'll be looking for continuation all the way back down to the current lows at 13,921. And then we come back to the whole perspective of, is this a bear market, right? Because we did see massive change of behavior, not only taking out inconsequential lows here back in December of 2021, November of 2021, but also this macro structural low here, definitely confirming in confluence a change of behavior. Now we do see this diagonal trend line. I do believe this is the most valid diagonal trend line, and it could be argued, again, multiple perspectives, that this is the new forming trend line for the uptrend structure here. For that to be valid, in my opinion, I need to see it act, right? I need to see it perform as an uptrend. I need to see it continue, because if we do see a bearish flip here and we confirm this structure as a macro lower high, I'm going to be looking for new lows below 13,930 here. I'd actually be looking for moves all the way back down to this region here, 12,970, which is call it $13,000 even here. Obviously bouncing on some inconsequential targets along the way, but that's a major level that I'd be looking for price action to move towards. Again, if confirmed below the 21 and confirming another lower high. But again, the price action looks like it wants to confirm an uptrend for this one. SPY Futures already has. We'll get into that next. Again, my opinion doesn't matter at all whatsoever, and this is not financial advice, but from my perspective here, I do think continuation to the upside is going to be a higher probability if we do see that secondary confirmation closure above the 21. We're going to go ahead and move on to SPY Futures here. SPY Futures, I accidentally thought this was NASDAQ, but SPY Futures confirming significantly higher highs here. This is an uptrend confirmation, right? We want to see that lower low react, boom, print a high, print a higher low, and then go to new highs. We do have every piece of the puzzle to confirm an uptrend here. Now, the important thing I want to know is if this is a break. No, this candle here technically did not breach the 21 exponential, so this is the first break of the 21 exponential right now. Wouldn't be out of the question to see a back test, a little bit of a wick down to the 21, but the same sentiment applies. If I see a secondary, if I see today close, again, that would confirm it, a secondary open and closure above the 21. I'm going to be looking for continuation to the next horizontal resistance, somewhere around 46.60. Give or take a few bucks, and then I would be convinced, hey, we likely have ourselves a reversal. Now, with this, with this one here, we never confirmed a legitimate change of behavior. Yes, we did confirm an inconsequential change of behavior, but if you compare the structural lows to each other, boom, here and boom, here, this one is technically higher than the last one. Now, obviously, we had this uptrending formation. get completely, shreked, right, to the downside, but I'm looking at every low that touches this diagonal trend line as an inconsequential higher low, which means it is not a structural higher low along the way. So while we did confirm a change of behavior below all of these lows here, we did not confirm macro change of behavior for SPY futures below the last macro low that was confirmed on in October 2021. So for this one, I have to remain bullish on this one. I really do. But what's really going to take the cake for me is, again, today, confirming a secondary closure above the 21. That would take the cake. That would convince me for sure and give me confidence to look for the next target to the upside around 46.60 here. Stochastic still pretty much north and looking for entry into the bullish critical zone. Very exciting stuff there. RSI poked above the 50 read here. And now we're seeing a little bit of a back test. It would be a little concerning to see it reject the 50 read, but given the structure as a whole, it's an uptrend. It's an uptrend, right? We got our low, we got our higher low, we got our higher high. We have everything confirmed for an uptrend here on this formation. And you guys know the lingo. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. And until the trend comes to an end, I am looking to the north. We're going to go ahead and move on to the US dollar index here and see what it's doing. Still almost nothing. Still playing with resistance, tentative resistance at that diagonal trend line here of peace and prosperity. Now, we do see a rising formation. Although it is below that diagonal trend line, we see the formation continuing to rise, which kind of gives me the implication that we may still be remaining very, very, very bullish here for the US dollar index. Again, we did see that diagonal trend line break, but we didn't see a significant reaction to the downside, right? Let me go ahead and line that out. We saw it break, boom, right here, but we have not seen a significant reaction to the downside as a result. So we see rising pressure on that diagonal trend line. In my opinion, it is likely to break at some point in time. Now, the same thing with this one as NASDAQ. We have a couple of conflicting indications here. RSI still below that 50 read, still below the negatively sloped exponential here, but again, rising formation. So the pressure is being implied to the upside, although there are bearish implications. Pressure is still on the rise, in my opinion, and Stochastic's looking for a fresh cross in the bearish critical zone, which, in my opinion, classifies a critical signal, especially if we see the exponential and Stochastic's cross back above the critical threshold into the bearish control zone in confluence with a breach of the 21 here. So we are seeing rising pressure here. What am I looking for? Obviously, everyone knows this here. I play the 21 exponential here, and look where the 21 exponential is lined up with current tentative resistance. Any candle closure above 95.90 that confirms, again, with that secondary candle closure to confirm, I will be looking for continuation to the next horizontal resistance right around 96.67-ish, give or take a few cents here. But likely much further, just because this would be classified as yet another higher low in an uptrending bullish formation here, and I would realistically be looking for another stab towards 97.70 here for the US dollar index, and you know what that says about the general stock market. Again, if you don't know how I see how I perceive the US dollar index, anytime the US dollar index is long-term bullish, the stock market and cryptocurrency market generally is not long-term bullish, right? And where the US dollar index is bearish, the rest of the general market tends to be bullish, right? Give me 1 second while I take a sip. Now, what would convince me otherwise? Clean rejection. Right, a clean rejection back down towards this tentative support here at 94.80, an opening closure below and confirming new lows. That would convince me of a major change of behavior, and I would start targeting moves to the downside. First one being 94.36. And then again, a couple of inconsequential levels to the downside, like 93.85. But ultimately, realistically, I would be looking for a major move all the way down to 93.36. And that, in my opinion, kind of spells happiness for the general market, to be quite honest with you, if we see a downtrend begin to formulate here. But since we don't have evidence of a downtrend here, that's just, hopium. I'm looking at this very massive, very bullish uptrend here to the upside. Ooh, we have a viewer. Hey, if you're watching the video and you want me to analyze any of your stocks, Forex exchanges, cryptocurrencies, drop them in the comments section below. Comments that are dropped in the YouTube live stream chat are first come, first serve, which means I will conduct your requests before I conduct any requests that have been commented on the Facebook page. far as US dollar index is concerned, though, guys, again, I'm still bullish until proven otherwise, and that proof otherwise would be new structural lower lows below this region here at 94.8. Now we're going to go ahead and move on. I don't know why I'm doing this one. It's the same story here for the Hall of Fame Village. I know a lot of people are interested in the Hall of Fame Village, including me. I am a long-term investor on this asset. I am continuing to scoop up a few shares here and there while we remain in this consolidation phase. This could serve to be as the ultimate low here before reversing back to the upside. However, we remain below the negatively sloped 21 exponential, and we have an unrealistic Fibonacci extension, or excuse me, a Fibonacci retracement target. Rico, if you're watching this video, I want you to see this awkward shit, because for the Hall of Fame Village, it's awkward. So, as you know, Fibonacci's are used for structural highs and structural lows. We have a structural high here, which I have my zero read lined up with, and the structural low all the way down here, which I have my 1 lined up with. Let's take a look. Realistically, it's not a realistic move to the downside, but this Fibonacci retracement chart suggests that if we break below $1.06 here, price action likely moves towards this region here. Negative 56 cents. Negative 55 cents, or negative 57 cents. That's what the Fibonacci retracement said. Completely unrealistic. I've never experienced a chart where a Fibonacci retracement target, the first target of the Fibonacci retracement, turns out to be an unrealistic target. So realistically with this one, I can't use it. I cannot use Fibonacci's on this one to the downside. I can use them to identify extension targets, but I cannot identify retracement targets below the current all-time low on this one. So I had to come up with psychological levels, right? And if you're a trader, you know what psychological levels are. They're made up bullshit, especially with a chart that looks like it wants to go to new all-time lows here. Any break below $1.06, $1.05, I had to identify psychological levels. 75 cents, 50 cents. Why? Because there's no price action below the dollar mark here. None. And again, while this is a relatively young chart here, technicals do apply because it is more than a year old. I have to consider that. It's almost 2 years old, so we do have technical history to play with here, but we don't have history anywhere below $1. Not anywhere below $1. So it's kind of like, how do I read this? How do I read this? If it breaks to the downside, how can I effectively take profits on a short, right? Psychological levels. You have to take psychological levels into account here. So that's my disposition to the downside. Outside of that, I can't tell you much. I can tell you some upside shit. Obviously, we're playing in a little bit of a consolidation phase here. We do see evidence of that on RSI. You know, doing this nice tightening. This is kind of how you know a move is coming, right? You see this RSI formation really starting to tighten up on that exponential in this positive formation here, right? We see that positive formation. We do see RSI starting to play around with the top side of the bearish control zone once again. Now, I'm not saying it's going to breach, it's going to break. It can easily reject it and continue to consolidate or move down, but we see that tightening, that coiling formation to the upside definitely suggests a big move could potentially be on the horizon here for the Hall of Fame Village. Same thing with our stochastics, doing this coiling bullshit, very vertical to the upside, now breaching the bottom side of the bearish control zone here into the bearish control zone. So here's the most important thing that I'm paying attention to here. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are my own speculative opinions on the market and assets that I present. Any candle closure below $1.05, anywhere down to 75 cents is a possibility. Any candle closure above $1.15 suggests a move all the way back up to this region here at about $1.32, at which point we're above the 21 exponential here. If we get confirmation above the 21 exponential, that could be our big signal for a huge move to the upside. Obviously, I'm only identifying major levels. I'm not really identifying any of these inconsequential levels here, but I would realistically be looking for a major move all the way back up to $1.81 upon a secondary candle closure above the 21, especially if we confirm an uptrend at any given point in time here, higher highs and higher lows. Then I'll get excited and maybe I'll start trading the Hall of Fame to the upside. Outside of that, It's consolidated, just like a trend. The trend is your friend until the end. The consolidation remains consolidation until the end of consolidation, right? Until I see evidence of the end of consolidation, which would be a breach above resistance or a breach below support. It's consolidation. That's all I can provide on that one here. We're going to go ahead and move on. Check out Mr. Bitcoin here. We do have requests. Yeah, AVAX, Link, AMC, and Dare. I'm pretty certain I heard about a big move on AMC today. Pretty exciting stuff. Looking at Bitcoin, higher highs, even more still, confirming new tentative support. Now, we are seeing a little bit of sell pressure here. Our last higher low was confirmed right here, boom, on the 2nd of February. So it wouldn't be out of the question to see a little bit of a pullback, test the 21, confirm a higher low on this region here at 40,900 before continuing the uptrend. But we do have a change of behavior that was confirmed on the 7th February this year, and now we see continuation to even newer highs. Yes, this is a change of behavior. This is an uptrend, and we are above the 21 exponential. I am looking at this from a bullish perspective here. Now, looking at price action right now, we are seeing a little bit of pressure on current support. Again, if we break below that support, we confirm below that support, I wouldn't be out of the question to see a pull into that 21, potentially provide a clean entry position on the 21 before basing another higher low and continuing onwards here, right? The thing that convinces me otherwise would be a breach below the 21 exponential, and more importantly so, a breach below the current higher low at 36,930. Any candle closure below there defeats the uptrend completely and entirely, and then we start looking for a bearish flip. Now, I did talk about, is this a trap? It could be, right? It could be. Anything could be a trap at any given point, but that's what risk management's for. Risk management is there to prevent you from falling into those traps and getting shreked 50-60% to the downside. Yeah. Gotta love that water. So for Bitcoin, I'm excited. I took a position right here above the 21. Boom. I think I entered like 41,003. Yeah. Manage my risk off the 21. And as the 21 continues to climb, I continue to adjust my stop loss daily. And at some point, 21 is going to be above my entry point. Actually, very soon, it likely ends up above the entry point for my position, and my stop loss turns into a profit loss, which just stomps me out of the position in the profit at the end of the day. That's the beauty of trading over time. If you trade the 21 exponential correctly, you can end up in a position where it is considered a risk-free opportunity. That means you have taken profits and you got about 25% of your position left. Your stop loss is in the profit. You can just let that bitch ride. You can let that bitch ride as high as you want it to ride, and it's a completely risk-free opportunity because you've taken profits along the way. Now, yesterday, we came real close. We saw Bitcoin, or 2 days ago, we saw Bitcoin come real close to my next take profit level here, but it didn't quite trigger that take profit. So a little disappointment there, yes. But if we confirm a higher low, I have confidence that we're going to see price action move all the way up to that region anyway, and I likely take another chunk of profit off of my position and just kind of let it ride, right? But for Bitcoin, yeah, I'm looking for continuation, and I'm likely looking for continuation on a lot of other cryptocurrencies here. We do have a request for AVAX, AVAX, USD. Yeah, AVAX looking a little stronger. Not confirming structural higher highs, but we are starting to certainly test the current resistance here at 93.78. Now, it wouldn't be out of the question, again, our last low was confirmed here, wouldn't be out of the question to come back down just a little bit, test the 21, confirm another higher low around the $78 region, and then boom, lift off. But if we confirm new highs above 93.78, I'm going to be looking for full extension towards 115.53 here to the upside, which would definitely confirm a change of behavior, of which we have not quite. I mean, technically we confirmed a change of behavior, but again, from a structural standpoint, I don't believe we've confirmed a change of behavior on this one just yet. But again, if Bitcoin decides to move to the upside, it's very likely that this one does the same as well. So, pray for Bitcoin. Pray for Bitcoin to continue to the upside, right? To the downside, same implications here. Any candle closure below the 21 exponential, I'll be looking for another stab to the current low towards like 67 bucks. Excuse me. And any candle closure below 60, well, we'll call it $68. Any candle closure below $68 here completely defeats the uptrend, confirms a downtrend change of behavior, and I'd be looking for this price action to flip back to a bearish sentiment here. First target below that region would be somewhere around 61.50, and maybe even lower. Again, if we do flip here, we would technically be classified as another structural lower high. Realistically, when we look at the majors, right? We look at the majors. I'm talking about the major tops here. We got the all-time high here, boom, and then a lower high here, boom. It would be out of question to confirm another lower high and then see another bearish flip again. The same thing is concerned with all of the cryptocurrencies that are forming in a similar structure. I want to look at Bitcoin and see if the sentiment is true here. Majors. We only have one major to be considered of. I mean, I don't even know what you do with that. Technically, we broke the formation, so Bitcoin's a little different than AVAX. Oh crap! Nope, I hit the wrong button. I mean, it's technically sound. If I have to be honest with you guys, it is technically sound for right now. It could come up, confirm a structural lower high, and flip back to a bearish sentiment. But with the way Bitcoin's performing, Bitcoin breaking formation, Bitcoin confirming a change of behavior, confirming an uptrend, confirming new highs, bullish momentum oscillators, it's hard to argue with the uptrend possibility here to continue for AVAX. So realistically, I'm not even going to put this online until it becomes a valid point to discuss here. For now, I'd be looking for potentially a little bit of a pullback, if not continuation, for a potential move above 93.70 here. And if that condition is confirmed, I'll look for the next resistance here. Link USD. Let's go ahead and look at Link. Oof. Not looking as hot, to be quite honest with you. Not looking as hot. We have a huge downtrend. Technically, we have higher lows, structural higher lows. Do we have anything else to base that off of? No, we don't. So I'm not sure about the validity of this. But for this one here, actually, I'm gonna have to make a new. I thought I had a chart. I have. Let's go ahead and plot out some new points here for this one. Let's bust this bad boy open. Let's identify some major levels here. We're gonna have to get some horizontals in place to really get a picture of what's really going on here. Big points. If my horizontal's away, hotkey, can you not do what you're supposed to? For this one here, I mean, again, we are in a downtrending formation right now. We did confirm a change of behavior below this low here. Technically, we're above the macro low here, testing it regardless, but we are above the last macro low here at about $13.75. It's kind of hard to again, same thing with like SPY futures here. Well, SPY futures are reacting accordingly, even though we barely came above the last macro structural low on SPY futures. It is reacting accordingly for me to be confident for uptrend continuation. This one is playing fuck games with the 21 right now, and it doesn't give me confidence. Yes, technically we have an uptrend confirmed here, but as far as major levels are concerned, Link is looking weaker. Link is looking weaker here. Seeing current price action below the 21 does not bode well for my confidence here. 21 is basically flatlined, right? When we're going for the 21 trades here, when you see that significant boom, right? When we see that significant break above the 21, let's go back to Bitcoin and identify how Bitcoin was a positive trade. Significant break above the 21. Boom! That 21 goes vastly positive, right? And then we see that secondary candle closure above, and then you enter, and then you see continuation. That's where your confidence on the 21 moving average strategy comes into play. Now, when I look at Link USD, that confidence is not there. Why? Because we did not have a significant break. We did not see that significant up curvature on the 21. We see the 21 remaining flatline, right? Again, I could be wrong. It's just, when I look at the 21 as my main trading source, it's like I gotta see evidence of continuation to the upside. Now, obviously, we have an uptrend here. And again, the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. But when it comes to my trading rule set here and playing around with that 21, It's not playing around with it well. A break below the 21, I would look for a pullback to current support right around 17 bucks even. Anything below there, I would look for the next low to be tested right around 15.75 right here. And then if we do see closures below that, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what fucking Bitcoin's doing. It seems to be that this one wants to do whatever it wants to do. This chart does not look so good right now. Maybe from a macro perspective, it still looks decent. Weekly looking weak as well. Weekly charts looking weak. This does not look good here for the weekly time frame. Weekly RSI playing bullish divergence, but not very strongly here. Again, flat. I don't like that flatline stuff. It's just telling me there's some indecision in this market. Weekly stochastics curling down, rejecting the top side of the bearish control zone. You know, maybe this is the one coin that does not act accordingly to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's going boom, boom, boom right now and starting to present reversal style formations, while this one is kind of just laying a huge fart. Yes, it's an uptrend, I get it, but again, major levels are not being taken out. On Bitcoin, we saw a major level taken out. This level right here is a major level, and we saw new highs above that region. But when we look at Link, and I'm just like, if we remain above the 21 exponential, I would look for another retest of this resistance, which is acting as current resistance right around $19.40. But we do seem to be acting as resistance here and getting rejected. Candle closures below, I'll look for the next move to the downside. Now, a candle closure above tentative resistance here, then the floodgates could potentially start open up. To open up, I would look for moves all the way up to this region here. Let's line it up correctly. 23.80 would be my next tentative target. But even then, am I convinced? No. Change of behavior point, macro change of behavior point is right here at 28.80. Again, in my opinion. My opinion could be wrong. I could be dead fucking wrong, but from my perspective, this is the change of behavior point that's significant. Until price action achieves equilibrium above that 28.80 region, I have to remain skeptical that it is possible to see yet another structural lower high. Again, we do have a diagonal downtrend formation here. Plenty of evidence to suggest that it's acting as tentative resistance. It wouldn't be out of the question to see Link come all the way up to this region here, test that diagonal trend line, and result in a bearish flip. Again, we have to prepare for multiple perspectives. Expect nothing, prepare for everything, right? If you fail to plan, your plan is to fail at the end of the day. So for this one, just kind of being patient, seeing how it reacts off the 21. Momentum oscillators, stochastics giving you kind of a false presense, right? This is not a move that deserves to be in the bullish critical zone, in my opinion, right? This is kind of evidence of false bullish momentum here. Again, I could be wrong. If Bitcoin goes boom, 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 it's very likely that the rest of the cryptocurrency market versus the USD also goes boom, boom, boom. But with the evidence that's being presented right here and right now, this stochastics is providing a picture of false momentum here. RSI, yes, above the exponential, but looking a little weaker below the 50 read. I do like the fact that it's above the exponential. It does suggest continuation, but we are facing to the negative side right now, to the south, and breaking that exponential, confirming a lower high, probably not the best thing for Link's history, in my opinion. Again, confirming a lower high just means I'm likely to look for new lower lows below $14.50 here. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Link. AMC. God, so many shit talkers on AMC, I swear to God. Yes, technically we are in a macro structure. Let's look at the weekly first. Yeah, technically we are coming on potentially new macro structural higher lows on the weekly time frame. We do have diagonal trend lines potentially to play with. A new one in formation here. No touch points that are even close to relevant for AMC before that. Yeah, nothing too valid for that one, but RSI reacting on the weekly to the upside, stochastics in the oversold territory, the bearish critical zone here, and we do see a nice reaction off of tentative support from the weekly time frame perspective. So if the weekly does play out a low here, I would be looking for continuation to the upside. Same thing with the daily here, daily time frame breaking above the 21, and again, this is the significant reaction that I like to see on the 21 exponential here, starting to force it to a positive slope. If we get a secondary candle closure above the 21 tomorrow and only tomorrow, boom, I will look for continuation towards 22.20 here. And look at this. Oh, my bad. I don't even know what this stems from. Oh, this is the trend line that I had on the weekly. I mean, if you go to the daily, there are more points to line up, but Then you go to like this, and it's like, it's kind of flatlined, right? There's really no trend line to be spoken of here on, maybe there is. Maybe there is. Oh. I mean, it's technically slanted to the upside. Again, it's one of those it's barely, an uptrend structure here, but an uptrend structure nonetheless. Daily RSI reacting violently, confirming an actual critical signal back out of the bearish control zone. Again, violently pointing to the north, heading towards that 50 read here. If we get that secondary candle closure or continuation above the 21 exponential, it wouldn't be out of the question to see RSI breach that 50 read and add another piece of evidence to a critical signal to take a trade. Stochastics kind of doing the same thing, reacting violently, escaping the bearish control zone here, which I'm going to mark off now. Boom. Looking at entry into the bearish neutral zone. Again, these are all critical signals. We have plenty of warning shots being fired here for the bullish perspective. If we get that secondary candle closure above, I take a trade. Again, it's not about believing or not believing in an asset. The chart's performance is going to tell you all the information on whether an asset is decent or not, right? Nice reaction off of support, potentially confirming a macro high or low. Boom. Back above the 21 here. So the most important thing for me is looking for that secondary candle closure above the 21. Now, if we don't, where does the trend flip? Let's look. Let's take a real close look at this here. Macro lows right here. This is the change of behavior point. Maybe this is the change of behavior point. Technically, we confirmed the change of behavior point. Macro low, lower high, higher low, continuation to, technically it's an uptrend. Technically speaking, again, it does just look like consolidation here, but we see a slightly higher low right here in confluence with the previous low right here, and then boom, new high. So we technically have an uptrend here. Again, unless proven otherwise, which would be full rejection and candle closures below 14.47, I'm going to be looking for continuation on this one. Now, if that condition is met, closures below 14.47 here, I would be looking for the next tentative target down to be tested, which is right around $12 even, and then likely lower all the way down towards like $9 even as well. So looking good for AMC, guys. Very, very, very critical signals, very sharp, aggressive movements here on the momentum oscillators and price action. I'd be looking for continuation, to be quite honest with you. And again, that's just my opinion. Dare Bioscience. I don't think I've looked at this one. Wow, it's been a while. I mean, holy shit. I mean, how thick is this uptrend formation here? Thick uptrend formation. Thick uptrend formation here. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend, ladies and gentlemen. That much is certainly true here. Let's go ahead and plot some significant points. Majors, right? We're going to go for majors, not insignificance. Or inconsequentials, as some people could suggest. Yeah, we're back above the 21 exponential here on this price action chart right now. Confirmed above the 21 here. Critical signal number 2, confirmed above the 50 read. Critical signal number 3, continuation deeper into the bullish control zone. Yeah, realistically, I would be looking for continuation towards tentative resistance and actually a potential attempt above tentative resistance here at $1.80. Any candle closure above $1.80, I'll be able to look for the next resistance to be tested, which is a major level at $2.12 here. And then we can talk about the further potentials. I'm going to leave it to 2 targets right now. I don't want to get too overzealous. Now, what we see here is a low. We could see a lower high in this formation. And if we do get that condition met, I would be looking for a retest of the current lows here. Boom, all the way down to $1.41. Any candle closure above $1.41, in my opinion, defeats the current trend. And I would be looking for a potential test of the diagonal trend line, maybe even this low here at $1.22. But momentum oscillators are curling up to the upside, very bullish-like on both perspectives. And yes, technically speaking, this is a macro uptrend. We have not seen lower lows, significantly lower lows in quite some time on this trending structure. So as far as I'm concerned, the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. It is a bullish trend. I would be more biased to the upside than to the downside until proven otherwise. And I think that's going to do it for the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. If you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell for notification updates on the latest content that we provide. And until next time, everybody, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for supporting the cause.